Bourkeys here, and welcome to albeit Wednesday night post-match review of our game against the Dragons, round 17 last Sunday night. A little bit late. It's going to be short and sharp and sweet, I hope. Looking forward to this weekend's massive weekend against the Tigers. But look, let's hark back to the Dragons, shall we? And that was a really important win away from home, under the pump with 12 men, which I'll cover through the top 10. But that win will certainly give us an enormous amount of confidence, as I said, because of some of the adversity that came throughout the match, particularly down to 12 men. Look, let's get into it. I want to start with Josh Hodgson. He was both brutal and brilliant on Sunday night. When we needed someone to step up, be a leader and put our foot on the throat of an opposition, even down to 12 men, Hodjo delivered in spades. His running game was par excellence. He controlled the ruck area beautifully. He marshalled the troops in defence. What I really liked about his touch on Sunday night particularly was something when we got the penalty in front of the post, we could have gone 18 points up. He decided to take the tap. Now, I was screaming for the 2 points to put us 3 converted tries in front, but he decided to go for the try, and we ended up scoring. So, look, it's a really big moment that in relation to, I think, where our mindset is now at as a team. And it was good that he could smell blood in the water against the Dragons and really rammed it home. I think for us to go all the way to the grand final, we need Josh Hodgson in that type of form over the next 8 or 9 weeks or 10 weeks. And if he could maintain that level, he's going to drag players up with him. And more importantly, opposition defensive coaches are really going to have a nightmare working out how they can control him. But it was really a supreme performance from Josh. Number 2, I've gone for Jared Croker. It seems like the last couple of weeks with Hodjo coming into his own from an attacking and defensive perspective, the shackles a little bit off Jared in relation to making a lot of decisions around the field. I thought his game on Sunday night was very, very solid. Now the leading try scorer. So that's got to say something about the guy, what he means to the club and what he does for the club. But I thought he really controlled that left edge defensive area really, really well the other night. And I think once again, if he can absorb some of the stuff that Hodjo is putting out in relation to being co-captains, it's going to be really big for us towards the back end of the year. Number 3, I've gone for cohesion. Now, I could really see it building beautifully again on Sunday night. I think some of the combinations we're now getting, particularly on that right edge with Jordan, Johnny Bateman, Aiden Caesar, those types of guys, I think the more games those guys now start to play together, I think it's critical for just some finer touches with cohesion towards, once again, the back end of the year. It's very hard to suddenly try and build new combinations in a quick space of time. I think the more Aiden plays with John and John plays with Jordan and so on, and Nick when he's back as well, it's just really, really important for the balance of the side that both our edges are working in cohesion. Number 4, I've gone for Corey Horsburgh. You could really see the aggression he brought the other night. It was really good to watch. A couple of times when he was getting back in the defensive line, he went a little bit too far behind the markers, which left a gap pretty open between where he was standing behind the markers and the edge player. I think he's just got to open his eyes a little bit and look laterally and just move maybe a couple of paces to the right or to the left behind the play the ball to give him some options of either going or drifting out to the open or coming back in behind the ruck to make some defensive reads. Obviously, the Parramatta game, those coaches are going to pick up on the try that Manu scored running across field. So it's just a confidence thing, and it's probably as well as a fitness thing. He's just got to get up and get back as quickly as he can into that defensive line. But I thought his aggression was first rate. I also thought that the way he was able to absorb a fair bit of punishment from the St George middle really helped Hodjo open up that ruck area when Corey was on. So top marks. Nickel Clockstaff, I don't know what else we can say other than this guy's going to be a bit of an X factor now towards the semi-finals. Constantly he's getting 2 or 3 defenders in and around him, and they're actually pushing him very tight to try and control his speed around the ruck, as well as his play the ball speed is also very good. But the guy's been an ornament to our game this year, and particularly our side with what he's brought. Another stellar performance, 2 tries, a couple of hundred meters in run meters as well. These types of things are really, really going to be so helpful for us over the next 8 or 9 weeks. Number 6, I've gone for consolidation. Why that win was so important, it now gives us a couple of wins in front of the bottom 8, as well as a really good percentage boost. So with 8 or 9 rounds to go, the other sides will really start looking ahead and chasing, and they're starting to get very desperate with the way they're going to play their football. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad, but it just gives us that breathing space that we can pace ourselves a lot better now, knowing we're a couple of wins in the 8 already. We've got a few big weeks coming up, but if we can just consolidate our form, we're looking at a top 2, possibly a top 4 finish definitely, but at least a top 2, I'm thinking, with the way our draw could unfold. There's a couple of injury concerns now around some of the sides close by us, so this could be really pivotal over the next couple of weeks as to how we can manage to string together a lot of wins, maybe 4 or 5 wins on the trot. Could really see us push for that top 2 towards the last couple of weeks of the season. Aiden Caesar at number 7. We need him to do what he's now doing. We need him to challenge the line, running as a small forward type of halfback, which is what he is. I thought his run meters on Sunday night really helped a lot of our momentum going forward, particularly allowing Hodjo to win that ruck battle. Aiden's very good on his feet. He doesn't get a big hit on him easily. So that's really important to give us, as I said, that momentum around the ruck area, which just gave Hodjo that space to pick off runners left and right. Once again, I really want to see Aiden take control of that right edge a little bit more. But all in all, a really solid game for us on Sunday night. Just not too sure now how Ricky's going to play this half-back rotation with Sam Williams. Aiden's 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks back in that position now, with a couple of buys in between. So we don't have any more breaks now between now and the first weekend in October, other than making the grand final in the first week of the semis. It's the next time we could possibly get a week off. So just very intriguing now how Ricky handles this halfback rotation with Aiden and Sam. Number 8, I've gone for Bailey Simons, and I thought his game the other night was very, very good. A lot of impetus off the first ruck out of the play the ball, really good solid meters, sucking in edge defenders to try and make a tackle. He's a big body. He also propels himself backwards very, very well to get a few extra meters. But I thought his game was extremely solid for us on Sunday night. I'd like to see maybe inject himself a little bit more one off the ruck instead of out of dummy half. I think his footwork with one off the ruck could really cause some edge defenders a little bit of uncertainty, the way that he moves laterally. But all in all, a terrific effort. Our kicking game at number 9, once again, I thought was very solid. I don't think we gave away a repeat set at all from memory. But our kicking game, if we can still keep refining that, turning opposition sides around to each of their corners, or even better still, a repeat set, it's going to be so fantastic for us and our ability to counter-attack on repeat sets. The good sides do it and do it consistently. But I think Hodjo's kicking game Sunday night was awesome to see him do what he was doing to take the pressure off Jack and Aiden. Hodjo's kicks out of dummy half just once again adds a terrific dimension to the way we're playing the game. And the more that he can do that, the more it's going to put chasers out of the first line under a little bit of second thought. If they go to Aiden, will Hodjo take off and take that gap? So the way that he's kicking, once again, just has another level of uncertainty with our attacking plays and puts those defensive efforts in 2 minds. Number 10, Josh Papali. We need a forward leader. The big sides have forward leaders. You think Jesse Bromwich, Waria Hargreaves, Burgess. We got Papali. And he can easily match it with all those guys. Once again, a stellar game 4 days after Origin Sunday night. Now he's fresh and can have week in, week out of just thinking about the Raiders games. That's got to be good for his mindset, and most importantly, has to be good for the Raiders. So guys, that's it for my top 10 this week. As always, thank you so much for the love. You can hook me up on Bourkeys' Facebook page. You can hook me up on Twitter at Bourkey Top 10, the YouTube channel at Bourkeys Top 10 on YouTube. So search there and subscribe on that button. I would really love your support. as well as all the podcast platforms as well that you have come to know and love. So guys, as always, this is Bourkey. Looking forward to the big preview game for the West Tigers this week, our 30-year reunion from the 1989 epic. And as always, guys, this is Bourkey, Bleed Green, out.